This is Chris Kell with a quick walkthrough of our Peak Fitness Client Consultation Questionnaire. So at the beginning of each 6 to 8 week cycle, we're going to fill this out with our clients and then review it on a weekly basis in a group format with small groups. All right, so number one, we want to figure out what they want to achieve in just a general category for the next 6 to 8 weeks. All right, and we give them options simply because, we want them to be able to, if you just ask the client, hey, what do you want to do? They're going to go off the rails. So we have to provide some structure, and most of them will, they'll immediately gravitate towards 3. Okay, you tell them to pick 1. Okay, and that's the focus of our cycle. All right, from there, we want to identify a specific milestone, okay, that we can achieve during this time. All right, and that's important because we're going to use that to motivate them. We're going to say, okay, we're here today because we want to get into this dress that you're trying to fit into, or we have, this run coming up in 8 weeks. And sometimes that'll take a little bit of prying. You're going to have to kind of make suggestions to them, and that's kind of the art of being a coach. Okay, so really think of some things that you might that might motivate them, or do some research on it and spend a little while talking to them about it. That's why discussing this in a group format is good. It's because, someone might step up and say, oh yeah, you can run this race for me, or with me, or, even give some suggestions that we might not have thought of. So from there, we move on to our next question, okay, which is, what is the biggest obstacle keeping you from where you want to be, okay? These are the common things that we found that are most kind of lacking for most people. So we have everything from lack of sleep, life stress, motivation, whatever it may be, and then we give them the opportunity to write it down. But once again, when we ask the clients this, we have them check it off, and then we just kind of go around and elaborate a little bit on this, in the group format, and just in discussion with everybody else, it will usually bring out some things that might not have been there. And from there, we finalize sort of the process here by just choosing 1 to 2 goals to focus on for the cycle. We have fitness goals here, and we have nutrition goals, all right? And then, again, we want you to workshop this. So ask each person what their goal is and get them to commit to something and write it in week 1, okay? We check on that on week 2. So they write their goals down. We're focusing on 1 thing at a time. If we choose 2, if they can do the 1 thing for 2 weeks successfully, then we move to the next goal. But like, for example, let's say it's eat every 2 to 4 hours, okay? We would write that in box 1 here under week 1, okay? And then during week 2, we would say, okay, did you do that or not? Maybe have them do something like keep a food log or some sort of a milestone that they bring into you to substantiate whether or not they did it. That could be, texting you every time they ate, or, keeping a food log, or whatever it may be, okay? And you just make notes on that, okay? Did they do it or not? Yes or no? And then why, okay? And then you just troubleshoot those issues from there. But doing that in a group format really helps to bring things home, and we can get creative with that. We can group people up into teams and do a challenge. There are a lot of different things that we can do, but just revisiting these things on a weekly basis truly positions us as coaches versus simply trainers.